I own a Jeep Renegade. I own a 2016 Trailhawk Edition. I've had it for 1.5 years, and I want to give a review on it. Now, I actually live full-time in my Jeep Renegade for about 1 year now, all right? So the first thing I want to do is say what led me to buy it. The best part about the car, in my opinion, is the outside. For me, the outside is very inspiring. It's an inspiring car the way it looks. It's got a cool, outdoorsy, beachy, Jeepy type brand and feel. The worst part about it are the seats. The seats are uncomfortable. Jeeps in nature, and specifically the Jeep Renegade, which is kind of tailored towards the Wrangler, it has a boxy feel. So that boxy feel, that it's not really aerodynamic, the wind hits it hard, it doesn't sleekly go off it. The seats are a little bit uncomfortable. Now, being that I live in my Jeep full time, I always keep the back seats down, and that's where I sleep at night. But overall, before I get into some more details, would I recommend the Jeep Renegade? Yes, only if it fits your lifestyle. Because I am a single person with no kids, no pets. If you had a family, if you, even if you were at the verge of starting a family with a wife, etc., or a husband, etc., I don't believe it would work for you. It's very small, compact, and if you fit a spouse, and if you fit, you know what I mean, some kids back there, it's going to be very tight. And the seat's a little bit uncomfortable. You're gonna, it's got a cool feel. You know what I mean? The steering wheel is very, sexy. It's got great handling because it's small and sporty, but it's compact. So inside, outside of the outside cosmetic inspiration, inside, if it's a little bit uncomfortable and you're dealing with another person and your kids, I don't believe it would be a good environment for a family. Ultimately, do what you want. I think this car best fits the lifestyle of someone who is younger and single, or older and an empty nester. I do not believe a middle-aged person with a family with 1 or 2 kids, I don't believe this car would work for them. In my opinion, do what you want. So the number one advantage, or number one thing that I like about this car is the exterior. The outside of the car is very inspiring, and I added a lot of stickers to the car. You ever see Jeep Wranglers and stuff, they have a lot of stickers on the outside. It's like a personable car. You brand the Jeep car. That's the type of, Jeeps are like that. They're for outdoorsy, brandy. The worst part about it is the seats are uncomfortable. For a single person, I live in a full-time, it's great. It's great. And also, I have, the double sunroofs, which is great because I spend a lot of times outdoors, exploring, etc., etc. The gas fuel economy is great. I do most of my driving on the highway. So I get almost 30 miles per gallon. In the city and stuff like that, it's about 25 miles per gallon. So overall, that's great. Now, one of the main reasons, too, I bought this, because when I bought this car, I didn't initially buy it to live out of. I bought it because it was cute, small, compact, and efficient. And that's what I was looking for at this stage of my life, being a single person with no family, and I don't want a family. What I will say is that... when I purchased it, one of the reasons I really wanted it was because it has 4-wheel drive. Now, the lowest base model, some of them do not have 4-wheel drive. I have the Trailhawk Edition, which is one of the top models. I'm going to get into the price in a minute. The 4-wheel drive capability was huge for me because I live in the Northeast. Now, I travel a lot. I try to get down to Florida in the winter, but when I'm in the Northeast, I need something with 4-wheel drive to get around in the snow. So if you lived in an area where it snows, that 4-wheel drive is important. Or if you live in a mountainous area, but I would think the main thing is snow. I went through a full winter with the Jeep Renegade. How does it handle in the snow? Great. Great. I had a Jeep Compass, and that also handled pretty good in the snow. That was a 4x4, and I had a Range Rover. That handled good in the snow. I had various cars throughout my life, but I would say the Jeep Renegade handles great in the snow, in my experience, because it's small, compact, and the way it has a great handling, the way it turns, etc., etc. So, and it does have different dials where you can set it at snow setting, mud setting. But I will want to make a note that, again, I have the Trailhawk edition, which is a premier edition of the Renegade. It sits a little bit higher off the ground, and it handles a little bit better. And it is trail rated, meaning that this has a little bit extra dynamics with the wheel alignment and the handling, etc. So make a mental note if you're thinking of getting the base model. How much did I pay? It was stickered. I bought it brand new in May of 2016. It was stickered around, I think, $32,000. I ended up negotiating and paying $27,000 and change, just over $27,000. I rolled the taxes, the DMV fees. I rolled everything into the purchase. So it ended up to be $30,000. I financed it. I have great credit, so I had 0 interest on the loan. So $30,000 brand new at 0% for 5 years. I financed it. That's $500 per month. I pay about $85 per month in insurance. So that gives you the general basic parameters of someone who has over a year and a half of experience in the car, someone who lives in the car and uses it every day. Overall, I would recommend it if it fits into your lifestyle as I've described in this video. But overall, I am very happy with it. Last thing I want to mention, what are some challenges that I've had with it? One is I made a video, I had a service engine light come on. In the winter, a thermostat blew in my engine, which made me lose 4-wheel capability. I brought it back to the dealership. It was, they replaced that thermostat. It was error code P0128. It was under warranty. The other issue is I did have a cracked windshield because it's not that aerodynamic. I mean, it can happen to any car, but I had a cracked windshield and it cost about $1,200 to replace that windshield. And once in a while, the electronics go a little bit of haywire, and it's like you either got to restart the car, or you have to play with the settings, because once in a while the electronics just lock up. Those are really the only issues I've had with it, thank God. So it hasn't been that bad. But I want to share my experience. I want to give you my review, a real review. And whatever decision you make, I hope the best for you. All right? Stay inspired.